Hello, good morning. Can you say hi, Noah? Right up there, say hi. Can you say hi? Oh, you want to sit in your chair? He's reaching for me to pick him up, and now wants to sit back in his chair. Hold on 1 second. Whoa! You went down. All right, hold on. All right. All right. Good morning. Good morning. I apologize for that, Jennifer. Hey, good morning. All right. So I was planning to have Noah on, but apparently he had other plans this morning. So want to jump right in and share with you a couple of stories about advocating for our kids and why it's so important to understand what's really going on inside of them. Okay. And so, if you've listened to my videos the last couple of days, by the way, my name is Josh Decker. If you've listened to my videos the last couple of days, you'll know that one of the things I keep saying is that we have to be the experts in Down syndrome because the doctors and the people that we work with are not. Right now, sure, they've got lots of medical training we don't have, right? But their medical training is for the mass population. And in 1 out of 700 live births has Down syndrome. Genevieve, what's happening? It's really not enough for a doctor to really specialize in Down syndrome. And so they tend not to. And they tend to kind of go, well, this is kind of generally what we know. This is generally what we can expect. But they don't really ask that question of why. Why is this way? What is it that we can do about it? And so they follow their normal protocols. So I want to give you a couple of great examples. So my son, who I had on just a minute ago, I know you want to go play. My son he's going to be 3 in January, and he has had significant issues with aspiration. Now, I think we've finally understood the why behind that and have fixed it. Sorry, I'm watching him try to climb the baby gate. Do you want to come back? Do you want to come back? You do want to come. Okay. Hold on 1 second. I'm getting our special guest. Hold on. Come here. Okay, here we go. Here he is. Everybody say hi, Noah. This is Noah. He's our special guest today. So Noah has had a lot of issues with aspiration. Okay, and so he has had aspiration pneumonia diagnosed 7 times, I believe, and that was by the time he was about 18, 19 months old. Excuse me, still trying to get over that cough I've got. So the reason why this is important, when you go to the hospital and they check you for pneumonia, they diagnose you with pneumonia, there's a standard course of treatment, and that treatment is this: Tylenol for, yeah, I know, right? Oh, you're going to say hi too? Okay. It's Tylenol for fever. Yeah, and you see mommy. It's Tylenol for fever, antibiotics for the pneumonia, right? And then IV if you need it for, dehydration and whatnot. I think he's got a future in public speaking. No, you can't have the microphone. Okay, so it's this Tylenol and antibiotics. And so what's important to understand is that some of these things that are normal course of treatment can actually be really dangerous for our kids. And so just to give you an idea, so Tylenol Tylenol can actually deplete what is called glutathione, which is something that the body should actually be producing on its own. But in kids with Down syndrome, they don't have enough. And the reason why they don't have enough is because of a gene called the SOD1 gene. It's overactive in kids with Down syndrome. And so that means that they are using all of their stores of glutathione. And when you introduce something like Tylenol, which actually depletes the glutathione, it makes it exceptionally dangerous, for them to be able to come back from that. And there's a lot of things that glutathione does. I'm not going to get into it. Take a look. It's not that hard to find the information online. If you'd rather not have to dig it up for yourself, drop me a note or let me know. I will send you the link to the group that has compiled all of this information for you to easily, get in and take a look at and just be able to understand. So in this case, right, glutathione or Tylenol is actually what's called contraindicated, which means it's dangerous for our kids with Down syndrome. So what's a better alternative? A better alternative would be ibuprofen. Now, ibuprofen still has, potential issues with it, right? But it is a better option than Tylenol. But you go into an ER, they see a fever. What do they want to do? They want to prescribe Tylenol. Boom, right off the bat. And so, knowing this, it's really easy to go, wait a second, hold on. Tylenol is not good for him. It's actually really bad for kids with Down syndrome. And here's why. And if you can explain it as simply as I just did, Michelle, what's happening? If you can explain it as simply as I just did, you start bending the ear of doctors, and they start paying attention to you and doing things that are better for your children. And so that's why it's important to understand some of what's going on. Aaron, hey, what's happening? It's so important to understand some of what's going on because your doctors haven't studied the biochemistry. Jennifer, what's up? They haven't studied what all of the different implications are for what their normal protocols are for kids with Down syndrome. And so a lot of the things that we see within the Down syndrome community in terms of developmental delays, in terms of physical delays, in terms of our kids being sicker than kids without Down syndrome, some of that is because of the extra genetic material. Some of it is because of the normal protocols that are followed that are not the same as they are not should not be the same for kids with Down syndrome because of the extra genetic material. Okay, so this is why it's so important to be that expert. Yes, I know you're playing with my watch. So important to be that expert, to be educated enough to have an informed idea of what's going on and what should or should not be done. Now, does that mean you're going to know everything that the doctors are doing? No. Right? Does that mean that you're going to know everything that is good or bad for for your child? No. But it means that you do know some of the things. Hi. Oh, are you doing what are you doing? Are you just being silly? Can you show it me apple? Can you say apple? Apple. No, you're being shy now. Yeah. So this is part of the joy and the responsibility that we get as being parents of these amazing kids. And some of what you'll find is that as you start learning some of this, right? Genevieve, yeah, absolutely. Not a problem. I can definitely get you that. Excuse me. I will actually, Genevieve, I will send you a private message and help you get some of that information. Absolutely not a problem. But yeah, and there's other things like there's certain. Can you come take him really quick, honey? Thanks. Are you okay? Oh, that sounded like that hurts.
It did.
Ooh,
just give me a second.
She kicked the baby gate because none of us have ever done that, right? Ouch. Did you break something?
I was looking.
Okay. Some antibiotics aren't good for our kids. They're contraindicated for our kids. Nitrous oxide is actually contraindicated for our kids. And some of this is because of one particular gene that every person with Down syndrome has that's in a mutated form, which is called the MTHFR gene. And actually, chances are, if you have a child with Down syndrome, there's I think like a 70 to 90% chance that you also, especially if you're a woman, have a mutated MTHFR gene. So Vanessa, what's happening? So, it's something to find out and to look at. Now, if you're interested and you want to dig and you want to find out, is this something that you deal with as well? This one particular gene, there's the over-the-counter genetic tests like the 23andMe and the one from Ancestry, I think, still checks for that. They'll, they do their ancestry stuff, but then you can also get the medical one, right? And it will explore some of these things, and you can find out, some of what's going on with you. Yeah, but you missed Noah, Vanessa. You got me live, but you missed Noah. He was just here. That's okay. Go back and watch the replay. He's on there. So it's so important to understand what we individually are dealing with so that we know how to better handle our health. And, like I said, when it comes to our kids, the doctors aren't experts in Down syndrome. So we have to be the ones to get educated. Okay. And so yeah, Tylenol, Do ibuprofen over Tylenol. Absolutely. Be careful. Tomorrow, I'm actually going to talk about the blood-brain barrier, which is really, really interesting. So the blood-brain barrier is this thing that protects our brains from toxins, and because of some of the extra genetic material that our kids have, their blood-brain barrier is more permeable, which means more toxins get through. And so we have to be so careful about what toxins we're introducing. Anyway, I'll talk about that tomorrow. But understanding these things, even just enough to be able to say, hey, doc, did you know this? Right? And being able to educate them to better treat your child is really what the goal of all of this is. Okay, so anyway, yeah, anybody that wants the information on the Tylenol, drop me a note, send me a private message, or if you want to get in and start looking at some of the kind of more detailed science behind some of what I'm talking about, I'd be happy to help get you into that group, so you can start looking at that information and really getting educated about what's going on with your kid. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for joining in. I hope you enjoyed getting to see Noah as briefly as it was, and I look forward to seeing you all again here tomorrow. All right, have a great day. Bye.